Shalom, this is Rabbi Mark Hillel Kunis, and my taste of Torah for Parshat Re'eh 57:81. The Hasidic master, the Kolender Rebbe, once challenged his disciples by asking them, "What's the worst sin a Jew can commit?" What do you think it is? Is it eating on Yom Kippur? Is it not observing Shabbos? Is it not being kosher? Is it only coming to shul on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? I remember when I was a student in yeshiva, discussing it with my fellow students. The most sinful action we could come up with was a Jew having his hair cut at the barber shop while smoking a cigar and eating a ham and cheese sandwich on Yom Kippur. Now that's a pretty bad sin, isn't it? Well, the Kolender Rebbe's disciples reflected for a while, and then each answered with one of the three cardinal sins that one must never violate, according to the Talmud, even when one's life is threatened: murder, idolatry, and sexual immorality. The Rebbe shook his head when he heard this. Yes, these are all terrible sins, but they are not the worst. The most terrible sin a person can commit is to forget the verse in this week's Torah portion, Bani matem l'Hashem Elokechem. You are children of Hashem, your God. In other words, you are an image of God, so behave like it. When you don't, when you act in a way that desecrates that image, even if you technically fulfill the mitzvot, this is the worst sin. Bani matem Hashem Elokechem. You are children of Hashem your God. So be kind and loving and compassionate. How does the Yiddish expression put it? Sei a Mensch. Be a Mensch. In last week's Torah reading, Moses tells the Jewish people, a new generation about to enter the land, how God led them for 40 years in the desert, quote, to afflict you, to test you, to know what is in your heart. Life can be stressful. How do you behave when stress wears you down? All the hardships the Jews faced those 40 years were a test, so that God and the people themselves could know what was in their hearts. So too when life tests us. My friends, we have all been tested since the COVID pandemic began in ways we could never have imagined. How did we behave? Were we considerate to our loved ones by calling regularly? Did we become irritable and hard to live with? What have we learned from the experience? Did we learn patience, that we can't always have what we want when we want it? Have we learned that it's family that matters more than we realize, that without them loneliness can be really painful, that we so need each other? Have we learned that life will always surprise us and that it is only God that we can always count on? Have we learned to take time to smell the flowers? Hopefully, we also learn that we should always behave in a way that reflects that we are Bani matem l'Hashem Elokechem, that we are children of God, and that we should behave in a way that when others are asked about us, they will say, now she is a real mensch. Have a great Shabbos.